Jen here with Samson and little girl hanging out. Went for a morning stroll and did a few chores, and I wanted to come on and research, and I figured why not do it with you guys, because I noticed a pattern, let's say, and those pattern recognition skills kicked in. Let's turn the comments on. There we go. Sit down. Gosh, he's so loud. I apologize. Lay down, Samson. Noise canceling headphones. I could use some really good recommendations so that these videos could be a little more polished for you guys. It is something that I want to do. It's not that I don't think you deserve it. Trust me. Before I get started, I like to ramble just a minute just to let people wake up and maybe arrive if they're going to. So when you spend a lot of time alone, I mean, I'm to the point I may as well be on the moon compared to how much socialization I've actually had face-to-face over the last several years. I always was a pretty sociable person. I like to be around people, but usually I'll just sit and listen, which is, I know that's a contradiction, kind of. And so you work on your skills and you try to keep busy. And people will say that you can become an echo chamber unto yourself because you don't have anyone to bounce these thoughts or ideas off of, and you begin to think that you're the final authority on everything, and that's how your reality can get skewed. Let me say I don't think that's happening with me because I don't live alone, number one, and because I am working on skills and little projects, and sometimes I do drag them out longer than they should take just to keep busy. And that's a good thing. We should all try to do things like that. You know, if you have the time, work on your skills, do something that brings you joy. Focus on and operate in and function from your area of talent. And I think if we did that instead of the main focus or goal being money to buy things, if we focused on doing what we enjoy, I think the other things would kind of follow. So just my 2 cents. But I wanted to preface this by saying that this does give me a chance to bounce these ideas off of people. And when I research with you guys watching, you can see in real time how things flow. Because I do believe we are all led to things that we need to see at that moment in time. I do believe there's a reason and a purpose for all things, even though we can't see it from inside of this world, this realm. Sometimes as a parent, it's easier for us to, I guess, maybe understand our maker. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm going to start this video with a verse. This is not what this video is about, but I try to take things back to Christ's words. Now, with this, either you're going to say Christ is a liar, it hasn't happened yet, or we are being deceived, okay? And I don't think Christ is a liar because most of what he has said, I've seen in my own life, I've seen in the public, and comes to happen, right? Whether it's from wisdom or precognition, whatever you prefer to call it, I do trust his word, and so I try to take things back there. And just like there are certain scientists and credible sources and places, links, websites that you will go to look at specific information. For example, you're not going to go to learn about the ocean, right? Or science, something that has to do with science on a cooking channel, for example. But we do find things oftentimes in a variety of places, and I do believe that they kind of come to us when we need them. I'm going to read this verse. Now, I'm going to do my best not to give my opinions or biases with some of this and kind of just present the information, and you can then put it together in the way that you think it fits. Because I personally I need that feedback. I want to see how everybody else kind of sees the information that I lay out to you. Now, I've learned to follow these patterns and to pay attention to this pattern recognition. It's so funny that a friend of ours did a video mentioning pattern recognition yesterday, and then this happened again to me. Now, I do overdo the media. I do it, as an effort to try and find truth and relay that to you guys, but also so I don't go loony and I have some sound in the background of things. Even when I meditate, there's like I'll play Gregorian chants or something like that when I pray. And there are times lately when I will just be totally quiet. But on those times when I'm cleaning or doing chores and I have something going on in the background, I can turn on an old movie that's black and white, and there will be some nugget in there that has to do with something we are researching. So you have that magnetic attraction, that law of attraction kind of working in that way. Let me preface this by saying I'm not quote unquote new age. I do follow Christ. At the same time, I believe we have more in common than difference. I believe a lot of what he said is found in other places and by other wise persons throughout history. And they all seem to say, do unto others and to raise that frequency. Hi, Dion. Nice to see you. I hope all is well with you as well. So I'm going to show you this pattern that I recognized. And again, nothing is as it seems, but I want to show you this verse first. I'm not even going to tell you how this fits into what I'm showing you. I'm just going to present the information as best I can. So this is Matthew 16:28. It says, Amen, I say to you, and he's speaking to the disciples and a crowd of people. I believe the Sadducees and the Pharisees. I just was looking at my physical book to make sure the digital matched, and it does. And so it says, I say to you, there are some of those standing here who shall not taste death until they see the Son of Man arriving in his reign. So that's the next coming when he comes again and reigns over the earth, okay? Matthew 16:28. All right, now there are some who say on the occult channels, I noticed Morg did a video, and sometimes I will share his videos, although he's an occult channel, because there's truth in his videos, and he seems to be a knowledgeable person. Our similarities kind of end there, though. Now, he was talking about this verse, and he said, obviously, this did not happen. I would like to say, hold up. I think it has happened. But again, I'm going to do my best to present certain information to you and just let you put it together how you want to. There are some who say there were 1,000 years added to time, to our calendar. Now, you and me, it is really easy to re-educate an entire society. It only takes 1 or 2 generations, complete generations, to settle in with a false history. Allegedly, the one was an I to begin with in Roman numerals. It was an I, and then it said like 983 or whatever year it was. And they're saying that that was turned into a 1 and 1,000 years have been added. Again, do with that information as you see fit, but I do believe it fits. I'm going to also mention something else before I dig into this pattern that I saw. Saint Germain, allegedly, is immortal, walks around, has lived or presented himself in different personas all throughout time. He always looks the same, although he looks dressed in that era. And another one is the Roman centurion who, I believe he pierced Christ's side with the spear. They call it the spear of destiny now. He was cursed to witness that and to walk the rest of his days and to live in that state as he was until Christ came back. Now, these are legends that are a part of our history or our mythology, and all mythology means they've taken that word and told you it means false. Mythology simply means history. Okay? All right, so I'm going to get into this, and hopefully y'all will not think I'm too insane. All right, so this is weird. Now, y'all know I was looking into this case, Lori and Chad Daybell. What you need to know about this, maybe I should go back real quick. Amen. What you need to know about this, okay, is I'm going to do this real quick. I did a video on this, and I've talked about it before, but I'm going to start doing uploads as well, because hold, please. I can't type in walk and chew gum. Okay, so this guy Um, hold please, I'm looking for it. Let me go to news. It'll be faster. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Okay, here we go. This is Rolling Stone. Pat is getting the help he needs and appreciates the love and support. Okay, this guy from this death metal band went a little, they call it crazy. Okay, Cannibal Corpse has released a statement responding to their guitarist Pat O'Brien's arrest. He's been part of the group since '97. He was arrested for burglary and assaulting a police officer while his home was in flames. Following the fire marshals found an arsenal of guns, including 50 shotguns. We'll not go through all that. Now they wanted to support him, blah, blah, blah. They're not giving any information. He's currently with family, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now they're not going to say a lot about what happened because it has to do with God. So, of course, they're not going to mention it. Let me see if they're going to show it here. It happened in 2018. Now, this is the same year that I went down to Florida in May, and I came back, and everything was crazy. Everybody was different, the whole shebang, okay? Everybody wanting me to believe in this Mandela effect and that I was taken to someplace different. I think that something else is happening, but that's my opinion. I want to show you this because this happened, and then they started airing the news about Lori and Chad Daybell, and they were talking about how it's the end of days, and they're calling them the doomsday couple. Now, they're saying that they were wrong because they said the world was going to end in July, and or at least that was when Armageddon was going to happen, or the apocalypse, the revelation, whatever, however you want to say that word. We'll get into what that actually means at another time. But all these things happened in or around after the time of the eclipse. Then you have those weird strings of voicemails that allegedly came from the Malaysian flight that said, evacuate the earth. They're not human. Okay, you have all these strange things popping up in different places. Lori and Chad Daybell, that's Utah, that's a Mormon, that's religious affiliation, right? Then you have Cannibal Corpse. This is death metal. That's a whole different paradigm. But what do they have in common? The 53-year-old allegedly broke into one of his neighbors' homes in Northdale, Florida on the 10th, warning them of the rapture after ignoring multiple requests to leave the couple's home. O'Brien allegedly pushed a woman down and fled into the backyard, where he proceeded to hide behind a garden fence. He charged one of the officers with a knife before being tasered. But he believes that the rapture is coming. He claimed someone was after him. I believe he was targeted. Further investigation revealed that O'Brien had called his parents hours prior to the incident. As shown in the newly released records, he allegedly warned them of an incoming alien invasion. Before given a bail amount, O'Brien was required to take a drug test, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is what happened. December 11th, 2018. And so I was down there in May of 2018. It was very strange. The streets were very bare. And you'll notice that in certain streaming videos that people do on YouTube, how empty the streets of, per se, New York are now compared to the 1980s. Okay. Even when they show you on the news and things like that, there was just a lot more, higher percentage of human population. I don't even know how to say that. Okay. Now, hold on to this thought. You have all this stuff happening at the same time in the same year around 2018. Put that on the back burner. All right, I want to show you this. Lori Daybell, before everything went down, she was on TV. Again, she has Mormon affiliation. She's affiliated with the LDS Church. She was a member, I believe. This is her on Wheel of Fortune. She said in 2003, she auditioned for Wheel of Fortune as God told her that she would win big on the popular game show. And she is very likable. Like, if you watch her, she's, I don't know, I like her. Let me preface that by saying, dismissing her crime. Again, we're putting all this aside. We're putting aside our emotions, and looking at the information that is being fed to us. And we're going to put it back together in the way that it best fits. Okay? not in the way maybe that it's presented to us. Okay, so first you have her on Wheel of Fortune, but you also have her. What else? Oh, did I keep? Oh, I think I downloaded the pictures. I should have just stayed where I was. Hold, please. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. Lori Daybell. Beauty Queen. She also was Beauty Queen. She was in a pageant. And she said she was a mom of 5 kids. She was a wife. And she said, basically, I'm a ticking time bomb. And I quote, that's what she said. Of course, she's joking. But when you're filmed doing and saying certain things posthumously or in posterity, it will be used against you. I think it's hogwash. I don't think they should be able to reframe things like this. I'm sure she never signed a release for a lot of this stuff. I know that I never signed a release. And this is funny because a lot of what happened to me when I noticed I was being targeted, a friend of mine who was an amateur photographer said she wanted to practice and would I take some pictures. I'd always said no about pictures. I was real funny about pictures until I started selling makeup online, and then I started doing the selfies. And then she asked me to do some pictures, and I said, okay. And then she says, well, I want to try boudoir. Would you mind doing a couple? And I said, no, I can give them to my spouse for Valentine's Day. That was a whole very weird experience. Let me just say right now, I never signed a release for any of that stuff to be used by anyone else. I really don't care what they say about passive consent. That matters not to me. My image and my voice are my own. But they will use this stuff. Once you're in jail, your rights kind of go bye-bye, right? And once you're on television or you're recorded and you know you're being recorded, certain things can be done after the fact. Now, you should see certain things I've been looking into. We're going to get to that in a minute. Where is this? Here's another one. This guy killed his wife. Allegedly. He was convicted of murdering his wife. She looks very familiar. A lot of YouTubers, if you pay attention, a lot of the bigger YouTubers, Ohio is a big area for these people. I don't know why. Never knew it before. I guess we're kind of close to New York, but my whole life pretty much has been a lie. Imagine waking up at in your late 30s and realizing, oh my God. And they tell you, don't wake somebody up if they're sleepwalking. It's best if they wake up on their own. This is why when you try to wake people up to truth, they're not going to see it until they're ready. If you traumatize someone with truth or you bang them over the head with it, you can go too far and really hurt somebody. And I know because that's where I'm trying to heal from. So here we have another one. This is a newer case. So let's take a look and see what they've got to say. He gets life in prison for murdering his estranged wife. Now, what I find interesting is that she's white, a nurse. She's in the medical field. We know what's been going on with that field recently. The people that I worked with would have never posted TikTok videos while they're supposed to be taking care of very ill patients. That whole thing was some type of giant ritual, and it's sick that people can't see it. Like, it's sick. Would you want somebody who's taking care of you to take 10 minutes to go out and do a dance? And when did they rehearse for all that? When was that done? Obviously, they're actors. They're making people look really bad, though. Because, again, I've worked in that field, and I worked with some very good people and some not so good people. It's like anywhere else. If there's people there, there's the opportunity for corruption. So what'd this guy do, and where was he from? This gets weirder and weirder, man. I don't know what's going on. And Ohio seems to be very big into these cultish type of killings and whatnot. But again, not everything is as it seems or as it's presented. So that Cannibal Corpse guy, he said someone was after him. This is what happens when you start talking about these things, about somebody came into my house and did things to me against my consent. When you remember things they don't want you to remember, and you start talking about things that they don't talk about or they don't want known, that happens. The system will target you. It's just part of everything. And it's a shame that today people still fall for this reverse psychology. That's what you use on a 5 or 6-year-old child, but it's working on adults across the nation, all over the place. Unless, again, I am totally Truman and I'm being fed like just some strange information. So this guy was on Family Feud and he mocked his wife. They said, what was the question? Hold on. Hold, please. I want to see if they say what he said there. Hold. He joked as a contestant on Family Feud that marriage was a mistake. They said, if you could take back anything you said, what would it be? And he said, I do. He said, honey, I love you, but I do. Okay. Now, she was discovered dead in her Illinois home, but they had been separated at the time. And when he was arrested, he looked rough. He was like real bad off. Now, here's the thing. He's a Christian. He is a Catholic, and he was involved in his church. Are people being persecuted and falsely accused of bogus crimes? How do we know that if no one was there and she was discovered alone in her home, how do we know that any of that even occurred? Really? And again, I'm taking emotion out of it. I'm taking the love of family and tragedy and all of that stuff and just looking at it as a news story with the information that they present. And why is it that people who have this history of going on game shows or being a part of some type of being filmed, basically, people who are filmed saying certain things, it's then used against them. And they say it when they arrest you in the Miranda statement. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Anything you say. They don't say that it's right then or after that point. They say anything you say, period. That's your Miranda rights. So they're using these things that people said and did in their past, retrocausality, to frame them for things in the future. Is that a possibility? That's all I'm saying. We need to look at everything and consider everything, because a lot of, well, if we all end up in the same place, that's not going to necessarily be a bad thing, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't have the allowance or permission to finish that statement I was making. Hold on. Okay. I'm just thinking and like kind of praying and talking to God. I know that's weird to you. It's not weird to me, but it's weird to you. Oh yeah, and the world's largest snake was just captured in Ohio. And the TV show The Devil is in Ohio. Like what? Again, you have all this strange stuff happening. Pay attention to the bigger YouTubers. Listen to them. Watch, binge on a couple people's channels. And you'll hear them, a lot of them are in Ohio. What is it? Pints with Aquinas, the Catholic channel, he's in Ohio. The Ascension Presents, that whole group, that's in Ohio. What is it? Steubenville, Ohio. They're all based in Steubenville. But if you go there, if you see videos filmed there, it looks like a ghost town. So either we have two different realities or we have a whole set group of people lying about situations and events. And I'd go with that. I don't necessarily just jump to the supernatural. So there's another one. Watch this one. I always forget this guy's name. And again, I wasn't big on this stuff. My mother and my husband always read books about serial killers, so they were always just laying around. But suddenly, Dateline streams on Tubi. And again, when I open the app, it automatically starts playing. So sometimes I'll just set it down and start doing the dishes or, fussing, cleaning, whatever I'm doing. And now I've started to just leave it on because I'm seeing this pattern keeps going. Okay. So this guy was compared to Ted Bundy. What is his name? Rodney Alcala. Okay. One police detective described him as a killing machine, and that he's been compared to Ted Bundy. He's often referred to as the dating game killer because of his 1978 appearance on the television show The Dating Game, in the midst of his murder spree. He died of unspecified natural causes in 2021. Huh. Almost like they're getting rid of a lot of people. Crisis actors? I don't. How are we supposed to put together this information? And why are, and let me say something else too. Like that woman that I saw at work recently, who I took care of as a woman, who pretended she couldn't walk or was incontinent, was now walking around, had lost a lot of weight, all of her teeth were gone, and she was dressed as a man. I'm not senile. I don't have Alzheimer's. I have very good recognition skills because I've drawn people, and facial structure is something I notice pretty much immediately upon meeting someone. And I never forget a face. Masks in my town, I think, were like to hide certain things from me. And the second I said I wanted to fly and go see the world, because my kids were grown, or not see the world, but, maybe do something with my life somewhere else, they started these travel bans. So excuse me if I do feel a little bit like Ted Bundy. So that woman who said she was living as a man, and then you have the interview, and I told you guys about this too, and I will try to find the clip and give you a timestamp. I was talking to somebody who's a friend of the channel, and we bounced it back and forth, and I don't think I ever did a whole video on it, but there was an interview with the Golden Girls, and they were talking about, in like the pilot, there was this guy who was an assistant or a housekeeper for Dorothy. They said he died by hanging himself, and they laughed. The funny thing is his name was Dorothy Zbornak. Like, that was, his last name was Zbornak, they said. And they said he died by hanging himself. Ha ha ha. They laughed. Is it possible they're saying that this alter ego man version of him died, and then maybe he is now living as something else? Because that's what I've seen in my own personal experience in my own backyard. And I believe life insurance has a big part in this. And I do not have any desire to harm myself or anyone else. I'm a pacifist, and everything shared here is per the Fair Use Act of 1976. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, nor a legal professional. All these disclaimers are posted, okay? Just to get that out there, because this is information they don't want you to pay attention to. They don't. Now, I also showed you how the word death wasn't even in the vernacular until the 1800s. Something happened about 100 years ago, maybe a little more, that was big. And they've been hiding it or covering it up ever since. So this guy was also a serial killer, and he appeared on the dating show. What is going on with all these people on television? All right. I wonder if he has a religion. Does this guy have a religion? A religious affiliation? Mexican-American couple, moved to Mexico, blah, blah, blah. Reasonably popular. Private schools. Oh, that's different. Ah, he was in the army, guys. He was a military vet. Oh, and he had a nervous breakdown. Huh. He was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. See, and then they let these people just run off. Oh, narcissistic personality. Wow. Look at all this stuff they're saying he has. He studied film under Roman Polanski. Now, if you look at all these things they're diagnosing him with, and you look into who Roman Polanski is, he was the husband of Sharon Tate, who was murdered in the Helter Skelter murders that were induced, the Hollywood murders that were allegedly conspired by the cult of Manson, Charlie Manson. Wow. All these people are connected. They all have a military history. I showed you that the first ever trans person in the 1950s was a military vet. What is going on? Like, seriously, I'm asking. Like nobody wants to get in on this conversation with me, and I don't blame you, because it seems to be a little dangerous. Oh, look at that. He began to work for Blue Cross. I bet you he had great insurance, and I bet you it never lapsed the whole time he was in jail. I bet you there was a nice payout when he, quote-unquote, died. Huh. Trans World Airlines was found murdered. Okay. It doesn't say if he has any religious affiliation. And I'm wow, I can't even get into the rest because there's so many connections there to look into. Are you guys seeing this? This is bizarre. What is going on? None of this is real. And I don't mean they're actors. I mean everybody who's been to jail apparently knows something. Like because they come out different. Something is weird. This is not normal. Okay, so let's try a different one. All right, let's look at Ted Bundy. Because I know he converted to Mormonism when he was in... Oh, what is that? Oh no. No, not him. Ted Bundy. There we go. Huh. Look at this. 4 notorious killers who were contestants on game shows. John Cooper, the Bullseye Killer, didn't get his name from archery. In fact, Cooper is rare. He got 2 nicknames, the other being Pembrokeshire Murderer for the robbery, assault, and of a married couple. Just a month after appearing on a British game show called Bullseye. Now, I told you about the other pattern I seen, that on 2 different shows on Dateline, allegedly 2 different true crime stories, each of the murderers was found. Game show contestant 222264, Lucifer Morningstar 222264. Dion, I was looking for the house number 222 the other day on my street, and I can't find it. And my son, he thought it was a joke. Again, this is part of my targeting from the spiritual realm. My son told me a story when all this was just getting started with me about one of his friends who I welcomed into the home, treated as my own, cooked for, blah, blah, blah. That, and unfortunately, his mother passed away from cancer. And you'll notice that that's a trend. All these people lose their mothers, okay? That's really big. The AC is not going to have a mother. That's going to be huge. But anyway, this kid who allegedly, they joke around and they call him the Antichrist. They think it's funny. He lives in house number 202. Now, in Gematria, you drop the 0, right? And then, so I was looking for literally house number 222, and it goes from 202 on one side of the road to 232. And my house number at the top of the road goes backwards. Like the house next to me, this house number should have went down, but it went up instead. There's something very strange in this place. And if you look up Ohio, there's all kind of strange things going on here now. Good video. Thank you. Yes, very strange, Dion. Very strange. Thank you for doing the Gematria. We should really... I don't really collaborate with people, but you're somebody I feel like I really resonate with. Hello, dear. So, isn't it ironic that he's on a show called Bullseye, and then he kills somebody like that with a, you know what I'm talking about. That's crazy. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Hello, mate, M-A-I-T. You guys are too much. I'm not even going to ask. Paul Curry, in 89, apparently it was a big year for game show killers. Curry won Jeopardy twice. Wow. Walking away with more than... until eventually he botched the final question. Though the same year he met Linda Kincaid, married her, and immediately began pressuring her to put her financial assets in his name and get life insurance. Anyone who's consumed any amount of true crime knows this is when you should run screaming to your nearest podcaster. Yes, I don't consent to life insurance. I've told you that part of my story. Pretty sure somebody has it on me. Don't care. Like, and watch out for eye drops in your house. You guys, I've done a whole video on that. But the genre hasn't taken off yet. Yes, and the student began, doctors couldn't explain. Oh, let me ask, is this eye drops? Is this going to be an eye drop one? I'm going to, I can't. She succumbed to her mysterious illness in 94, and he got away with it in 2002 until it was discovered his previous wife getting life insurance equals 322 reverse skull and bones. 223. That was the address of where I worked recently. Curry got away with it until 2002. I bet you my numbers are very strange. My birthday and all that. I bet you they're wild. On a hunch, blah, 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 rejected is claiming to be non-smoker. Oh, okay. On a hunch, knowing that the most common reason people are rejected for life insurance is claiming to be non-smokers, but testing positive for nicotine, which she wasn't. It's believed Curry mixed tobacco into her food and injected her with it in her sleep. Huh. Why would he do that then? Because that would remove his, he wouldn't be able to be a beneficiary then. Let's continue. Rodney Alcaca, we just went off with that one. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Weird vibes coming off of him. Oh. So she did not go on a date with him. He potentially murdered 130 people in all. Edward Wayne Edwards. Okay, I'm sorry, but if you have a child, please don't give him the same first name as his last name. Why do people... I don't understand. The producers of What's My Line and To Tell the Truth... Oh, isn't that ironic? On the other hand, were well aware of Edwards' criminal past when they booked him. In fact, that was his main draw as a contestant. Edwards has been on the FBI's most wanted list after spending almost a decade robbing gas stations. Then wrote a best-selling book about his reformation in prison and became a motivational speaker. Haha, two first names is never good. No. Why? He won a combination Jesse, James, Jordan Belfort. You have to admit that's a hard one to see coming on a show whose premise boils down to guess my job. I guess. His reformation didn't last long, and it turned out he also had something of a Berkowitz in him. Oh, look at this. In 1977, he killed a young couple in Ohio. Another in Wisconsin. His own foster son. John would be good name. You're not a good speller. I can't even get into that right now. I can't. It's too early for all that. It was his daughter who figured it all out and started looking into his past. And when he was arrested in 2009, he decided to tell the truth. He was already 75. Wow. Okay. He may be responsible for everything from the Zodiac killings to the murder of John Bonet. All right. Just stop. I don't know. Is that all of them? Praise goodness. Okay. All right, let's see. How many serial killers were on television? Let's see. Let's see what Wiki has to say about this one. I didn't see what you said. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's not. No, real. Oh. All right, let's see. Serial killers who appeared on television shows. This one's from the UK. So they got their own. Everyone will get their 15 minutes of fame. Yep. John William Cooper, the Bullseye Killer. Stephen Port. Who's that? Allegedly. Wow, drugged his male victims. Yep, he's currently on trial. During the same month his first victim was discovered, he appeared on BBC TV's Master Chef. Oy vey. Make meatballs. Rodney Alcaca, we looked at that one. Ian Huntley, the Soho murderer. In the following 2 weeks after the disappearance of schoolgirls, in 2022, Ian Kevin, a 29-year-old caretaker, appeared on Sky News in Look East expressing shock and concern, yet appearing to proactively assist the police. And that's weird. Some of these people insert themselves into the investigations. Like they want theme. I don't get it. I don't understand. He was on the game show to tell the truth. Right. Okay, so this is weird. I don't know what's going on here, okay? Actually, I think I do, but I don't want to get into it right now. You need to put together this information, how you put it together. Now, I need to show you something else that's strange. This is going to end up being, let's see what time it is. This might be an intro to the next video. If you have something else you want me to search related to this, post your suggestion now. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to something else I wanted to show you guys. It is sort of related. Not entirely, but sort of. Okay, so let me... Top genetic. Okay. All right, now I'm going to show you something. And this might get me booted, but oh well. I'll show you how I found this. We'll go backwards, because again, that's kind of how my life goes. Check this out. You always want to check out board of directors. People are real good at like giving us patsies, and these people on the front, like, oh, it was this person, oh, it was that person, oh, it's this celebrity, oh, it's that celebrity. But you gotta go up the ladder, go up the food chain and chase things. So I wanted to see who was in on this genetic testing stuff, because I think that is greatly related to the alleged alien abduction phenomenon. Do I think there are aliens? I'm not ruling it out. However, there's very good theory about where the missing 411 children go, and it has to do with Project Paperclip and Montauk, making these children pretend to be aliens and getting their... When you seclude somebody and isolate them long enough, their minds can get very strong, especially a child, because they're sponges. They haven't had anything put into them yet. There's a theory that these quote-unquote aliens are in fact these missing children that they have had psychically trained and brainwashed through programs like you see with Montauk, like with Stranger Things. Okay? Now, art imitates life, imitates art. That's a quote, a famous quote in history. Why is it so true? Do we need to stop putting things down on paper completely? Is that what the book burnings were about? Do we need to stop recording things? Is it just part of a natural pattern, a Fibonacci pattern that we can't escape? Or is there something more going on that we don't really recognize yet? I'm not going to tell you what I think yet, but if you watch this video from the beginning to the end and you see the verse that I shared, that's one of your answers. I do not think we're all the same here. I think that some DNA is very valuable, and I think that our targeting has something to do with that. I'd really like to know how many of these people who've been falsely accused of crimes, how many of them participated in DNA ancestor genealogy studies prior to being accused of these things. And DNA might not lie, but man does. So if you don't know how to process your own DNA and you trust somebody else with it to do whatever with it, you don't know what they're going to do with it. You don't even know if they're going to tell you the truth, because you just don't know unless you're an engineer. Now, this is weird. I started looking at board of directors in certain companies. So check this out. This is, where'd he go? This guy. Don't know how to say his name. Don't know what he looks like. Don't know who he is. YouTube has one board of directors. And remember, this is shared per fair use. Okay? This is all publicly available information. You just have to dig for it and know what you're looking for. That's the problem. Most people don't know what to look for. Just like with books, go back to the publishing companies, not even necessarily the authors. Go back to the publishing companies. Why do all these media, why do they all stem from like Boston and New York? There's nowhere else? No other publishing companies anywhere? It's just bizarre, guys, once you take these things all the way back. So this guy, whoever he is, I'm pretty sure this is an alias or some kind of gematria-related name. Roloff Botha. Rolov Botha? Botha. I tried looking at it backwards. Maybe if you mix the word letters up, it'll spell so. I don't know, but that's not any ethnicity or anything genealogy or what's the word I'm looking for? Nationality, I guess, that I'm accustomed to. Hello. Oh my God, I got a lot of bad spellers here. Just to make y'all aware, I spell very good, very well. And my grammar is good too, and I'm not bad at the Latin. Roloff Botha has served as a member of board of directors since December 2013. He served in various positions at Sequoia Capital, a venture firm, including as a partner and managing member of Sequoia Capital Operations, LLC. Now that's what's weird too. As big as YouTube is, it's still labeled as a LLC, a limited liability company. That means if something happens, they're not really responsible. Actually, if somebody looked into this, they should probably be an Inc. They should not, they have no right to be an LLC. They're not small enough. Anyways, continuing on. He also served on PayPal, all the issues that they had, and where a lot of these rumors about PayPal, Wayfair, Amazon, Bezos have all come from. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. He's the CFO. And look at this. Where else has he worked? Oh, he served on the board of directors of 23andMe, a public personal genetics company since when? 2017, and is a member of its audit committee. On the board of directors of Natera Incorporate, a public genetic company, since 2007. So that's two different genetic companies that this man on the board of directors of YouTube is involved in. Why are all these people so interested in genetics? Why? No, bored at walk. So to continue on, where else is he? Oh, he's also been on the board of directors of Unity Software, a public video game development company since 2009. He's a member of its audit committee. He's also on the board of directors of a number of privately held companies. How much you want to bet those are jails? How much you want to bet? Because a lot of jails are privately owned. Yeah, so a lot of things go on there that we're not aware of. And people come out very different from that system. It almost makes me want to go inside just to see what's going on. But I ask that God, his will be done and not my own. The Most High, my maker, the baker of me. Okay, so this, I don't understand this. Like, oh, he's also on the board of directors of a vehicle ride sharing. Is this a real person? Seriously, is he even a real person? He went to the University of Cape Town. He's a graduate of Stanford School of Business. Who is this person? I gotta see, because he's got his hand in every cookie jar. And this is how you research these things. And I'm only gonna get off on this side thing for a second. What's this dude look like? Is he a real person? I don't know, man. I don't know. His pictures look bizarre to me. WSJ. Is he in a church? You in a church, dude? What a peculiar looking man. Very. Peculiar? Very. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. Okay, so he's a South African. I was going to say he reminds me of, Jesus, Jen Musk. He reminds me of Musk for some reason. But South African actuary. What's an actuary? And a company director. University of Cape Town and Stanford. See, they want you to believe that Africa is like this poor nation, and I don't, man, think everything's the opposite. Known for CFO of PayPal, Sequoia Capital, Unity Technologies. What is that? Ethos. What is Ethos? Mag Truth. Just gonna live. Okay. Okay, so he's on, wow, he's into everything. Even Bright. Hello, Nebula. Forbes Midas list, annual ranking venture capital for professional. He was raised in Hout Bay, a suburb of Cape Town. Economics University of McKinsey and Company, Johannesburg, Stanford, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see his personal life. I'm just curious if he's religious. The first minister. Hold up, because this is kind of big. This is a company that keeps coming up. Is this? Oh God, hold on. I did a video on this a while back because of the anagram minister. REM. That's what it was. It wasn't just sleep. It was related to something with mining minerals. Wow, there was a show about this. Again, I'm reminded of something that was on a popular television show recently. Wow, these guys are like into everything. Okay, back. Last foreign minister under the apartheid government and the first minister of mineral under Nelson Mandela. Mandela effect, dude. These people are, and the Mandela effect is not what they say it is. Okay, so this is a weird dude. All right. So, the CFO of YouTube is also really into genetics. Oh my God, what does that say? This is his X post. The future of AI governance is here. Join a global community of policymakers, engineers, and activists and more in ensuring that AI remains... Hold up. Oh, these people in South Africa doing this stuff. And then Israel is the biggest for technology, allegedly. Ensuring that AI remains open and accessible to all. November 5th. He just said this. See how everything comes to us like as we need it? All right, he's a guy to watch for sure. All right, let's go back. Top genetic companies. All right, now let's see who's on this list. We're doing this for a reason. The same types of things keep happening. Is it a natural pattern? Is it a Fibonacci? Or is it ordered by God or by man? Or something else? Why are they so interested in everybody's genetics? Because not everybody's genetics is the same. There's a guy who's doing all this like anti-aging stuff. He looks like that roll-off guy, but I don't think it's the same person. Did I do a video on that? I'm going to have to look into that because he is someone that when I was looking into celebrities and their faces changing recently and all that, this other person came up. There's a lot going on, guys. All right, so if you're TI, you know what CRISPR is. You know that this guy was actually in jail for cloning. It gets really weird. Okay, so Illumina. Imagine that. Illumination. So they're the leading provider of sequencing services and sells both instruments and reagents for genome sequencing. Founded in 1998. Leading medical companies in the genome theme. All right, so can we know who was the CFO? And again, I'm showing you guys how this works. CFO, Illumina. Let's see how this person is. Another AI-looking created person. Do we got a name? Joydeep Goswami. Okay, has been appointed CFO, effective immediately, February 1st. Doesn't look like a real person, but I mean, maybe he is. We got some weird pictures here, people. Really? Can we see some real, like, life pictures where he's actually moving his face? Weird. Okay. All right, let's go back. CRISPR. Since everybody's favorite company, let's see who the CFO of CRISPR is. Wow, and look at this. This is a month after Illumina. We just saw this in February 2023, effective immediately. They changed their CFO. Looks like CRISPR's taking a page out of their book. CFO is from William Blair and Company. Just show it to me. Just give me the information. Switzerland and Boston. announces the hiring and appointment of Raju Prasad, an Indian man, as Chief Financial Officer effective March 14th. He joins CRISPR, where he served as partner and senior equity covering cell therapy, gene therapy, and gene editing. Dr. Prasad succeeds Brendan Smith, who is leaving the company to pursue external opportunities. Okay, so that just changed. Let's go back. Who's after CRISPR? 23andMe. This is the one that was owned by the Mormon Church. I don't know if that changed recently. Hold up. There we go. See, they have to be transparent about this stuff. They have to tell you who's involved in it. Neil Mohan, Evan Lowe. Board of Directors includes Ravel Law and 5 others. Patrick Chung, Ravel Law, Ravel. Okay, so they got the same picture there for Patrick Chung and Ravel Law, this person. Something's not right with all this stuff. Richard Scheller. There he is. Roloff Botha. How do you... Roloff Botha. I don't know, man. This is bizarre. All right, let's try again. Invite. So, here we go. Board of Directors. Invite. Please excuse typos. I'm just trying to get this information. A new CEO. Oh, wow. When did this happen? In its mission to bring genetic information into mainstream medicine to help improve healthcare for billions of people before becoming the company's president and CEO, he served as their chief operating officer. Okay. Who owns Invite? Acacia Research. That's their parent organization. See, you got to go up to the main umbrellas of these things. So let's see who the board of directors is. Randy Scott, co-founder of the company. CFO from 2012 to 2017 and chairman to 2017 to 2019. Member of the audit committee of Bridge Biopharma. See, all these guys, like, this is a severe conflict of interest because they're all over all of it. Biochemistry from the University of Kansas. Eric Aguiar. Genova. How much you want to bet some of these people are in the LDS church? How much? Should we check? Do you want to check? Cord Blood Registry. He served as the CFO for that. A company that stores stem cells from umbilical cords and blood tissue. In vitro. So he was, before doing the stem cells, he was doing in vitro diagnostics. Wow. Prior to that, he worked at pharmaceuticals. And Berkeley. He's from Berkeley. Because of course he is. Financial executive, blah, blah, blah. Previously served at Netgear, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one on the list. Clinical stage genome editing company. Now this, look what it says there, is developing novel. You should know that word. Potentially curative therapeutics leveraging CRISPR base. So they work. CRISPR Therapeutics is perhaps the safest gene editing stock because of having a late-stage product close to being monetized. Focused on the development of proprietary, potentially curative therapeutics. But why? What's the end game with all this for them? Like, really, if you guys know, please tell me. Repair broken genes. Like, what is it they're trying to fix, or who is it they're trying to fix? Something like, and I know the theories that are out there. I want to hear somebody put this together in a way that I can understand it, that makes sense. Because this doesn't. Oxford Nanopore. Pocket-sized, read this. I did take a look at this one. Developer of the pocket-sized, what's that called? Minion. Mini-ion. Minion. Real-time DNA RNA sequencer and other nanopore analysis devices. A UK startup. Carried out, but it promises to make genome. All right, let's check into this one. Provide services and consumables that are needed. Its definitive agreement with Lacergen, developer of DNA sequencing, to acquire its remaining shares. You'll notice that too. A lot of these companies are being ate up by each other. They're being combined, like they're doing with religion, like you're seeing. Like Kat Von D just converted. What is that about? Not that I'm like good for her. I pray that she is blessed and her family is blessed. I agree with some of what she said in her testimony because I feel the same way. I feel like I was a bad example for other women. So I'm trying to change that. But, is God at work, or is it something more that we're not seeing right now? Read clouds to map the larger, okay. Wow. Organizes genetic information based on what is known as read clouds. So 10x genomics. I don't like that I just go with my gut and what sticks out. CFO. Justin McAnear. Since when? 2008. All these companies, everything has been switched over in 2017, 2018. Justin McAnear. So these are the people on the board of directors, and he's the CFO. Oh, the executive team. Board of directors, you have a different list here. Any similar names? I'm not even kidding. I bet a lot of these people are in a very specific religion as well, because they're so interested in DNA. That's the only reason I'm saying that is because the LDS Church, that's what they do. And I can't on the surface, I can't say that's a bad thing. So people want to know where they come from, their tribes, but that could go really bad really quick. That developed and commercialized a droplet digital PCR platform until it sailed to Bio-Rad Laboratories in 2011. And you'll notice a lot of engineers, and I'm trying to find the information because the video of mine that was taken down on the other channel, a lot of engineers died mysteriously before 2017. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of them. So what does this dude do? Can I see a wiki on him? Because if they're not Indian or South African, they appear to be American LDS members. I don't know why. They just do. Okay, that's not going to show me anything. Crunchbase. Da-da-da. Tesla's former finance chief becomes CFO of genomics startup, Justin McAnear. Wow, he used to work for Tesla. All right, so Justin McAnear. Are you religious, boy? I did that all wrong, didn't I? I did that all wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. It was that one, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's check out this one. Editas. Obviously, they edit. They want to repair broken genes. This really makes me wonder about all the pregnancies you're seeing. Well, at least in social media, because I'm seeing real conflicts there as well. I'm seeing a lot of maternity wards closed down and papers saying that our birth rates are the lowest they've been in 32, 33 years. But at the same time, you're seeing a lot of pregnant people on TV and in social media. So is that older stuff that they're showing as they've been covering these things up the last few years? Are they giving us late and old media so we don't notice that these things under the surface are changing. I don't know. I'm just putting ideas out there. I don't know if it would be a good time to have a child. I know that we're told to go forth and have families, and that's like the whole purpose we're here is to have families and love each other. But I think that can really be used against us in these types of ways. So they developed the pocket-sized minion things. I want to know what do these people do? Can I just click on that? Nanopore CFO. This is strange, all these people that are interested in this stuff. Gordon Sanghera is co-founder of Oxford with Spike Wilcox and Hagen Bailey. Who owns Nanopore? Oxford Technology is not owned by hedge funds. Currently the largest share. IP Group PLC is the largest shareholder. Nanopore is a single molecule-based technology that utilizes an enzyme to detect each nucleotide base as it passes through a tiny pore, while Illumina uses individual fluorescent molecules attached to the ends of strands of DNA in a process known as clonal amplification. Wow. All right. Who else is in on this stuff? Thermo Fisher. Okay, so they make all the products and their instruments for their labs and all that stuff. Pocket-sized minions, Agilent, lab equipment. All right, Pacific Bioscience. I wanted to look into them too because they're in California and you got a lot of stuff going on over there all the time. So let's take a quick look. PacBio. Let's see who's involved in this. John F. Milligan. They're all older. Christian Henry. David Botstein. Calico Life Science. Hannah Valentine. Nice to see a woman on there. Stanford. Another one. Kathy Oranez. So they all, obviously stay within the same companies because that is where their education and their career paths is focused. So that's their focus of their study. Makes sense. But some of this dude, why does that sound familiar? Marshall Moore. That sounds really familiar. Bill Erickson. Huh. Who owns PacBio? Let's do that. Founder. Stephen Turner. He's a graduate of Cornell. Okay, so this is weird. He began to study the behavior of biomolecules in nanofabricated structure. Remember that guy? I was reading the book about dreams to you guys. His whole background was in genetics. Why is somebody writing books about dreams and how to have lucid dreams and control your dreams writing about genetics? Because I don't think everybody can do that stuff. And I think they're looking for the DNA of people who have certain abilities. And there must be some type of genetic marker that points to these abilities, or they wouldn't be so fascinated with this stuff. I mean, this is insanity. These guys got their hands in everything. Veritas is another big one. They were the first company that was able to analyze an in sequence for less than 1,000, allegedly. And that word is very specific as well, Veritas. So let's do Veritas, Board of Directors. Let's see if it's anyone familiar from the other ones. Sean Davila, Carlyle Group, Global Technology. Greg Hughes, CFO. Bill Krause. How much you want to bet he's a LDS member? Let's check into this guy. the CFO. Corporate leadership. 20 years of experience. He was the CEO of Serena Software, Micro Focus. He also has executive roles in technology investment firms like HGGC and Silver Lake Partners. Isn't that a conflict of interest, though? How can you work for a company that you... I don't know. I mean, I did too, I guess, sort of. Greg came to Silver Lake from Symantec, where he served in a variety of senior executive positions. Who is this guy? Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and Computer Science from Massachusetts, as well as a Master of Business in Stanford. Jason Young. Daniel Fishback. That's another strange-looking picture. Alan Holt. I swear I've seen him somewhere, too. All right. Let's get out of here. What's the next one? Keller Genomics, BGI, and Jeep Genomics. What is this one? I've never heard of that one. Using artificial intelligence. Well, let's check you out. Why not? Deep Genomics. Take me there. Deep Genomics recruits from among the top 1% of recent graduates and seasoned experts at an intersection of genomics, drug development, and, you guessed it, AI. Where are you guys located? I'd really like to know that. Where's the About section? Company? Approach, blog, careers. Let's... Are they going to keep... Okay, over 100 members, blah, blah, blah. Organic and software engineering. This is transhumanism. This is where it all comes together with this stuff. And they all just, it's the same type of group. I don't think these guys were on any of the other boards. Is this like, are they going to show me every... Oh, okay, I see. Did that say? And Roach. Okay, that's a company. William Chip Baird. Oh, that's funny. Brian O'Callaghan. Brendan Freight. Didn't we just see him on another one? I'm going to have to go back and watch. All right, I want to know where these guys are based out of. Should I look at careers? Join us in Toronto, Boston, or virtually. So they're in Boston, which is where, while team activities include movie night, virtual reality, rock climbing, and yoga. Okay. This brings back a couple memories too. How bizarre. And I'm not one of those, I'm not going to say yoga is wicked. I just don't do that. I'm not like that. So we know where they're at. All right. So I've shown you now how to cross-reference and go back and trace these threads to where they need to go. So what do you think is going on? Now, to circle back to the very beginning of the video, because we're going to get into this more. Where are you going? Is that the guy's name that I'm looking for? Yeah, like I want the actual saint, guys. Count Saint Germain. Due to his interests and achievements in science, alchemy, philosophy, and the arts. His real name is unknown and his birth and background obscure. Towards the end of his life, he claimed that he was the son of Prince Francis II of Transylvania. That's what he looks like, allegedly. He is said to have made far-fetched claims, such as being 500 years old, leading Voltaire to dub him the Wonder Man, and that he is a man who does not die and who knows everything. Prince Charles of Hesse-Kassel is recorded as having called him one of the greatest philosophers who ever lived. Now, There are a lot of weird, strange stories surrounding this guy. And I'm doing this at the end and circling back because we're going to go in, we're going to get into the woo part of all this. And we're going to look at things like eternal life and immortality, transmutation, and quantum. What am I looking for here? Yeah. What's the word, Jen? Sorry, it's still early for me. We're going to be looking at eternal life and how DNA plays a part in that and transhumanism. However, do we actually need any of these things? Are there people walking about the world now who have been here for quite some time? Well, this person is said to count Saint Germain. Now watch as we go into images. Click on images on the tab. Of course, you're going to get all kind of products named after this guy. There we go. He has a variety of different looks, okay? Through the ages. He's a little effeminate looking. There's another picture of him. I bet you this is more accurate than some of those other ones. Because some of those other ones, they get to looking like the pencils, the sketches and whatnot, like the ones that are on the dollar bill, they get to looking a little synthetic. They don't look real. I don't know how else to put it. I think we've had AI crap around for a long time, messing with images and pictures. But allegedly, this guy claims to be immortal. And there's a few different looks for him. People have compared him to a lot of different people throughout the world and throughout time. Okay. Now, circle back to this. There we go. Cassia Rufio Longinus. I can't remember if it's a hard L. Hold on. Longinus, I guess, is the Roman soldier who pierced Jesus' side with a spear. It's called the Spear of Destiny. And we're going to look at that stuff too. That's another reason I'm circling back. For this, he is cursed with immortality. This book spans the first 130 years following his curse, much of it spent in slavery. Part of Cassius' curse is that he'll always be a soldier too. Huh. That's different. And here's a different one. How bizarre. Now, the centurion who actually crucified Christ, it says that he became a Christian, was later martyred. He was also the person who went to Pontius Pilate to assure him that Christ was really dead. Okay, so we have a lot of strange things. What is this? Is this a game? Did they make a game out of it? Here are 2 characters to populate your in nomine campaign with. What is this? There are many different legends about a Jewish man. Harris, the good guy. So did you? Okay. What can beauty? Back to humans? What is this? Guys, I find the strangest things. Back to humans. What does that mean? Humans and undead. Here's the little people. They're listed by status alphabetically. Eventually, you may get the whole alphabet. For the now, I'll do it like the angels and demons. Entries marked with are off-site. If you find a broken link, please tell me. They're created by and for fans of In Nomine and are a responsibility of myself and the individual authors. Wow, it's a game. Please email help at sscucla.edu. Are they serious? Wandering Immortals. That's weird. I guess it's a game. Okay. And then here you have his actual curse. So we're going to get more into this. Now you're probably asking, what does this have to do with people being on TV and then those people being arrested and coming out and behaving differently? We're going to look into jails too. I probably could do that right now, but I don't want to get into it in this part of the video. Anyone who stayed to the end, thank you. We will also be getting into who owns some of these prisons, because they are privately funded and owned, which means they are not just like private contracting firms. They could do more than the military is allowed to do, really. And so, these are things that we need to be aware of in our reality, and kind of just pick and poke at that thread of truth and pull on it and see where it's going to lead us, because things are not as they seem. And believe it or not, the videos I do that are like this are done to give you hope, because things are not as they seem, and we do have help, and there are souls here, wandering souls here, who are here to help us and not just place stumbling blocks in front of us. God is just. The system is fair. Believe it or not, I know it doesn't feel like that all the time, but it is. It really is. So start sowing what you want to reap. You can't always point fingers, because you can't change any of those people outside of yourself. And no, that's not do as thou wilt. We do need some type of law and order that we can all agree upon. Basics. Don't steal from your neighbor, right? Don't steal from each other. But other than, don't kill each other. We should be at a point now, though, where we're spiritually evolved to get on with each other, regardless of our differences, and learn from our differences. The media is nothing but a divisory tool, and I'm trying to use it to show you that there's something deeper and more happening. So keep your eyes open, your heads up, keep your head on a swivel, be strong. Remember that you can endure. You wouldn't have been placed here otherwise. But we're going to start to look at some of these things. And is it a curse to live forever? Why is that a curse? What is the difference between immortality and eternal life? Resurrection and reincarnation? We're going to talk about that. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that you're all blessed. Have a great day. Please pray for me as I pray for you. Those are the topics we'll be getting into. Please watch for uploads, because I might do an upload today, one or two, on different topics. I love you guys. Stay blessed.